Next week, I'd like to, please sit down. Next week, I'd like to teach, I'd like to teach on preparing for next level, you know. That's next week. Next week, I will teach on preparing for next level. And it's just been on my heart that there are things that people who see the future should begin to do today. There are practices, there are disciplines, there are things that we can do that can set us up for our next level. Sometimes people don't last when next level shows up because they were never prepared for it anyways. They were never prepared. Let me ask you a question, for example. If the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria were to come to Calabar today, and I was given the privilege to come with 3 people to the meeting. And so let's say I took my wife, number 1. Oh, and chief protocol. And my chief protocol, number 2. And then 1 more person. And I selected you. Just imagine you were the 3rd in my contingent. What would you ask the president? What would you say to the president? How can you position yourself to not leave his memory? How can you position yourself to get an opportunity out of that meeting? Are you thinking? Think. Don't bother about answering it all now, but that's preparing your mind for what I'm going to be teaching you next week, right? Because you have to think. Because we're praying. Sometimes God answers the prayer, but you're not ready for the answer. You're not ready for the answer. So the governor worked. Okay. He says, I'm trying to work out some things for the states to da. And I need ideas. What's one idea you will give to the governor that he can't resist? Lashata barataka. Lord, open doors. Give me favor with kings. My face will shine before the governor. Zadidi kaprakatete. Lemo shata. Now the governor has shown up. What idea are you going to give him? Your prayer has been answered. But what are you going to say that will make him say, can we see in the office on Tuesday? Can you come to the State Executive Council meeting and repeat what you just said and show us how to get it done? It was an idea that opened the door for Joseph. The Lord was with him, we know. He had favor, we know. There was grace on his life, we know. But what did Pharaoh say? Inasmuch as in all my kingdom there is none as wise and discreet as thou art. And as a matter of fact, Pharaoh started, well, the Bible records that the thing that Joseph said was pleasing to the ears of Pharaoh. That's a good place to start. And I'll share briefly what we have for this 3rd service. Let's go to Genesis 41. One of our missions in this church is to raise a highly intelligent community of people who are deeply spiritual and who can contribute significantly to society and the kingdom. That's one of the missions. It's not the vision statement. The vision statement, you know the vision statement? Let's say together, I want to go. To raise a righteous nation of believers who are leading and fulfilling purpose with excellence. That's our vision. So the mission comes from there. Why we have the creativity segment in this church is to stimulate the intelligence of our people. Many years ago, before we had doctors working in different parts of the world, now we have doctors in America, we have in Canada, we have in the UK, doctors from this church, right? But then I would ask them questions like, if you were taken to St. Andrews is the hospital where the President of the United States of America is treated. If you're taken to St. Andrews as a doctor, would you be able to navigate the softwares that are used for diagnosis? Okay, do you even know the softwares used for diagnosis? Do you have an idea? Because a knowledge of what's obtainable in your next level can help your preparation and positioning. So if you don't even know what is being used there, how do you even start acquainting yourself? Many years ago in this church, I did a teaching on skill evolution. Go and get it and listen to it. If you graduated 5 years ago or earlier than 5 years ago. Is it earlier or later now? Come on, English people. Earlier. Your certificate is obsolete. It has expired. Oh, Sinclair, I don't like that look. Sinclair says, what? Yes, it's expired. You're priding yourself with an expired piece of paper. But how do you keep it updated even though you graduated 10, 15, 20 years ago? It's by updating yourself. Upskilling. It can't be the last thing you did. I would imagine that you either have newer ones you've built on it, or you have certifications, or you have trainings, things that can help you stay up to date. Management principles in the 1960s are not necessarily in the exact format as they are now. Some basic principles still apply, but some principles have evolved. Do you know what has evolved in your profession? Don't tell me you're an architect and you draw very beautiful buildings. That's nice. But architecture has moved beyond just nice buildings. Architecture now has to do with functional buildings, right? So materials, the choice of materials, number one, the ability to maximize natural light, and the ability to have fittings that are energy efficient. That's where architecture is. So if you have a building that can maximize daylight, for example, which means you don't need too much electricity to light up the place because it's designed in such a way that it allows natural light into the building. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the dynamics of architecture have moved beyond just drawing to thinking about functionality of the building. That's what's called green architecture, which has been for some time now. If you've learned about green energy, hey, see, listen. My business is not to bamboozle you. But I'd like you to get acquainted with what's happening in the world. Because sometimes we are out of alignment with what we're praying for. When the breakthrough comes, can you function in it? That's the question. I want to be able to function in my breakthrough. As a young man, I said I was going to travel the world. I wanted to speak to leaders. But do you understand the import of what that means? I was sharing at the conference I spoke a few days ago in Uyo, and I told the story how my very first meeting in the United States, before I lived there, I used to travel back and forth. And that first meeting, the very, very first meeting, first of all, it was a stressful trip. I flew to Lagos. From Lagos, I caught a flight to Frankfurt, Germany, because I used Lufthansa. If you're flying Lufthansa, you have to fly through Germany. Okay, let me just make some people acquainted with one or two things in flying. If you're using Qatar Airways, you would travel through the home country of Qatar, which is Qatar, right? And so you fly through Doha. Doha is the city where they have their big international airport. If you're flying with Turkish Airlines, you're going to go through Istanbul. Istanbul is the big city in Turkey where they have to fly through. If you're flying with Etihad, Etihad will go through Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. If you're flying through, if you're using KLM, you're going through Amsterdam, because Amsterdam in the Netherlands is the city that houses the headquarters for KLM. If you're using Air France, you're going to go through Charles de Gaulle Airport. That's in Paris, if you like. You know, that's the home country. If you're doing BA, British Airways, you're going to go through London. It's going to be an airport in London, right? And so on and so forth. That's how these things work. If it's Kenyan Airways, you're going to go through Nairobi. You're going to go through Nairobi because that's where, and there are many different airlines. Anyway, so I went through Frankfurt Airport because I flew Lufthansa. I had a layover there of about 4 or 5 hours, and it was winter. It was cold. Here was I bought 2 cardigans from Lagos, hoping that I was going to be warm enough. 2 cardigans from Lagos. And I wore both. I sat in that airport for those 4+ hours with my knees knocking and my teeth gnashing. And I wore my 2 cardigans. Okay, so information. Information. Winter is not a joke. And that was inside the airport. I wasn't in the street. I wasn't in town. I wasn't outside. I was inside the airport where the temperature is controlled. That was supposed to be warm. Okay. Anyways, I survived it. And then I get on a flight and I fly to the U.S. The first city I flew into was Philadelphia. And I went through immigrations in Philadelphia, caught another flight to Indianapolis because I was going to the state of Indiana. So I flew into Indianapolis. From Indianapolis, I get picked up and we drove like 2 hours to Evansville, the exact city where I was speaking. That first trip, that first meeting. And guess what? The day I arrived, that first day, I had a session. I'm tired, I'm jet lagged, and then I flew into Evansville. The cold was on another level. On another level. On another level. You know how your deep freezer is warmer? Yes. I kid you not. Your deep freezer at best is 0 degrees. That's freezing point, 0 degrees. So now, but you're coping with -7, -12, -10. Your deep freezer is warmer. It's warmer. Well, don't be scared. There's warm clothing. I mean, I'm just telling you from my JJC days, right? Eventually, we lived in the snow. Eventually, we lived in the snow. Anyways, and so I get to this meeting. Don't miss this. I get to this meeting, and I was going to be next to speak. There was a speaker already speaking, and I was going to be next. Who was speaking? John Maxwell. For those of you who don't know John Maxwell, how can I help you? 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 John Maxwell is one of the foremost leadership speakers in the world. To take a John Maxwell training, in fact, there are different packages. Some are as expensive as $10,000, isn't it? You need one of those other ones. Aha. So, but the high-end ones are about $10,000 to do a training, just a training, to train you as a leadership coach. And I get to this place. My first meeting wasn't to speak to church congregation. This was the staff of a ministry, so this was professional training for them. John Maxwell is on the screen, and they are listening and taking notes, and I was next. I think you feel my pulse now, because if you don't know your onions, just turn back and go home. There's no need to disgrace your lineage, your community, your... And I'm tired and all. There are other lessons from that meeting I'll leave for another time. But John Maxwell finished the session, and AK's session was next. And I delivered. The good thing is I went back to that church to speak several other times. Several other times. Several other times. Prepare yourself for your next level. Prepare. Be intentional. Take your life seriously. I don't know how more I can tell you. These are the things that have helped us. These things will work for you. These things will help you. Take yourself away from leisure, pleasure, and just chasing shadows. Get serious. There's greatness in you. From that first trip, to when I eventually moved to the United States. I'd been to that country close to 20 times. Of course, not only that city, I'd spoken in different cities, spoken in different places, spoken in different meetings, addressed different people. You must know your audience. Don't pity yourself. Grab the bull by the horns and tell yourself, I will succeed. I will succeed. There's nothing we know that we've not taught you. There's nothing we know that we've not taught. But it's up to you to be serious about it. If you still want to mix leisure and seriousness, well, you would dilute the impact and the import of what you should do. Some of us sacrificed. We made a lot of sacrifices. When people were borrowing movies, we were borrowing books. Don't be up to date with fiction. You're not up to date with what will help your life and destiny. Okay, take out time and tell yourself, in the next 1 year, I want to focus on going forward with my life. I want to focus on going forward with my life. It's going to cost you because you will have to make decisions, right? You will make decisions. There are things you won't do because you're focusing on your life. The next 1 year. And then you want to curate that environment by reading the right books, having the right influences around your life. See, you will emerge powerfully. You will emerge powerfully. There's racism in the world, but I can bet you that there is no place I have been to speak that I didn't make the kind of impact where they wanted me to come back. Not one place. Not one place. Anywhere in the world. Where? Not one place. When you start making impact, nobody cares about your skin color. That's why some money for lotion, convert it to money for books. Okay. Amen. I know you heard me. And I said it because I love you. Okay, so today I'm just going to speak on leveraging. I had promised to speak on business leveraging. Now, technically speaking, when you talk about business leveraging, from technical language, mostly they're talking about borrowing. So if you went online and just typed business leveraging, it's usually about taking loans, leveraging, taking loans, making a lot of profits, returning the money, and so on. So in technical language, in economics, leveraging basically, first of all, refers to that. But that's not what I'm teaching you today. I'm teaching you on leveraging ideas and opportunities to facilitate your business. And let me make it very simple. I'm also building up on some of the things that we had in previous classes. We had our sister, for example, that has never left me, who said she sells candles. And as unpopular as it sounded, candles, I even asked, do people still use candles? She said, yes, people still use candles. Interestingly, you can live in the city so long that you forget there are rural areas where people need these things. And she said something that made all of us laugh, because I said, who's your major customer? Oh, those of you who were in that class, you are already laughing. She said cherubim and seraphim. And we all laughed. And it still sounds funny. But she was serious. She didn't join us in laughing. Because while we laugh, she gets the alert. And yes, it made a lot of sense, because like the churches we like to describe as the white garment churches, they use candles a lot. It's part of their own mode of worship. They use candles a lot. And these candles always burn. They use candles daily. So imagine, that when you're thinking of a bag of rice, buying it in bulk, someone is thinking of packs of candles in those kinds of houses. And she said she's making money. How much did she tell us she makes on the average monthly? 200,000 as a side income. As a side income. And then she said her biggest challenge now is money. Because if she had more money, meaning she has not even been able to meet the market or satisfy the demand in the market. Now, so in that situation, what is leveraging? She has done the business. She understands the business. She knows the market. She has demand. What she needs now is money. So leveraging would be to get into partnership. Partnership. A research has shown that a good number of businesses in Africa don't survive for a long time because the average African is greedy. He wants to make all the profit alone by himself. So he gets an idea, sees the market, and it's the season. He doesn't have the money. He can't tell anybody else. He can't bring anybody. He waits for the next 5 years until the season expires. The people who should have bought are no longer there, and that thing is no longer in need. Then he lives in regret. But I tell some people, here you are with an idea that is 3 years old. Your challenge is money. People have the money. But you're wishing to have all the money by yourself. And in 3 years, all that money hasn't come. I said, this is not the only idea God will give you. Get somebody into it. Even if it's just a percentage you get as profit. Use it to build up your capital for the next thing that God is going to do with you. When you court small thinking, you stay in a small place for a long time. Some people are the originators of certain businesses, but what they earn from it might be 10 or 20%. To you, it sounds small. But brother, 10% of 100 million is 10 million. 1% of 150 million is 1.5 million. So someone who is not contributing money, he only has the idea, someone is willing to sponsor it, and then they are creating a system and money will be coming. He refuses to partner just because he wants that 10 million to start it. He's trusting God. He's praying. 3 years you've been trusting God and praying, and you don't want partnership. And the opportunity is going. Unfortunately, sometimes you wake up and somebody else is doing it, making big money. Then you start telling us, I'm the one God gave this thing 5 years ago. Don't worry. When I get my money. You've lost it. You've lost it. Ideas have a way of moving from person to person. When ideas find a man unready, it moves. So there's a principle that I would like to describe as idea migration. Every idea has a time tag. God gives you an idea and you don't use it in good time. You will wake up one day and find somebody doing it. It has moved. It has migrated. So in leveraging, partnership is one way by which you can leverage. Partnership. Can you look for someone who can partner with you to do this thing that God has given you? Be willing to share profit. In leveraging, next point, be willing to share profit. Be willing to share profit. Be willing to share profit. Someone should remind me of the question, how do I, because there are challenges in partnership, how do I navigate the challenges of partnership? How do I know who I can partner with? How do I check? I'm going to answer that question, but just follow the principles. Partnership, I said be willing to share profit. Be willing to share profit. Be willing to share profit. Let me tell you something about partnership. There are different kinds of partnership. There's someone bringing money. There's someone providing the vehicle or the equipment. There's someone providing housing and all. A few years ago, I was teaching, and I think it was in this service, and I asked the question, how many of you are into fashion designing here? Let me see your hands. You're into fashion designing. For real, let me have your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, Chinon, so you're into fashion designing? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So about 13. Oh, 14. Good. So you're into fashion designing. How many of you whose hands are lifted up now have a state-of-the-art fashion complex yet? Okay, how many of you have it as a plan that in the future you have this really nice place where you do business? That's in your mind. Okay? How many of you already have that now? That kind of place? None. Take, for example, what if everyone who does fashion designing, what if they all come together? This is just a thought, and I'm just sharing an example. What if they all come together and say, let's rent this duplex? Maybe the rent is 2 million a year or whatever it is, and they choose to come together, pool their resources, and rent the duplex. Probably everybody pays 200,000 a year. Let me ask you, how much is a shop on Marion? Basic average shop on Marion or IBB? Huh? 1.5, depending on 300,000, 800,000. Of course, I mean, but on the average, let's take an average mark. About how much? Just normal, small, regular shop, but on Marion, 500. So let's even take 500. It will be cheaper to pay the rent in partnership for a duplex, sharing the cost and sharing the space in that building, than to take a tiny shop on Marion by yourself. What if this complex, this big duplex, had a name? We just give it a name. The Fashion Arena. Maybe that's the name of the place. It looks beautiful. The structure is already imposing. It easily has visibility. Now, but inside the complex, everybody has either their room or their corner and all. What's the sense in that? Anyone coming into that complex is coming with a sense of, wow, this place is classy. And so you guys together, you make the inside look beautiful and all, but everybody runs their individual business. It's only the things you need to do together, like the utility bills or the rents, that you all come together and pay. That will put your business in a different light. Because we're not looking at you now just as Afi International. We are looking at you as part of the fashion arena. Where do you make your clothes? Oh, I make them at Fashion Arena. But inside Fashion Arena, Afyong is your plug. The payments go to Afyong if she's the one making you a dress. Everyone runs their individual business, but this place is a fashion house, a fashion hub. The advantage also is that there is a principle in management that is called perceived value. The principle of perceived value. I taught it some time ago, right? Perceived value is how people assign value based on how they perceive a thing. And I used to give very simple, very, very, very simple examples. There's this thing called, so when I was in primary school, they used to sell it around. They used to hawk these things. They used to call that thing a karamboro. Who knows it? Come on, don't pretend you know it. What's it made of? Mashed bananas. What is it called now? Do you know what it's called? Mosa. Mosa. You know how much one mosa is? Tiny thing like this. Smaller than puff-puffs, yeah. Smaller than puff-puffs. They'll tell you 200 for one. That akara moro, regular people carried it, they fried it, and it will be outside the schools and so on. That thing, it's been branded. It's now called Mosa. So Akaramboro is 15 naira. Mosa is $200. That's branding for you. The same thing, the very same thing. The very same thing. If you're buying meat pie from someone in a kiosk, and you got there and they told you the meat pie was 500 or 700 or 1,000, you just sigh. What did you put inside? Which kind of meat is inside? But if you go to one of these places and you say, how much is meat pie? And they tell you 1.5 or 1.2, you just pay and walk away. Because you step in, the ambience, everything looks nice. Someone is opening the door for you. They're dressed in uniforms. Everything looks good. There are television screens, football here, movie there, music here. You feel like this thing is worth it. It's called perceived value. So that building will give you the effect of perceived value. What you charge in that building will be different from what you would charge on the side of the street if you had your shop. That's leveraging. But how many people are willing to partner? How many people are thinking like that? We're just thinking me. Now, how far have you gone with your me business? How far have you gone? It will be easier for the governor's wife to come to Fashion Arena with her friends than to come to that street corner. You may make 1 or 2 dresses here and there, but they won't be proud to identify with where you work from. True or true? Come on, am I speaking to somebody? That's the truth. So if you're getting ready for next level, you must prepare yourself. You must prepare yourself. So partnership. How do I even get into partnership? Because sometimes there's a challenge of, people disappoint, people do this, people do that. Let me tell you, whatever business you're doing with anybody, even if it is in church, make it formal. What did I say? Make it formal. Make it formal. Get a lawyer to draft the contract. Don't say I didn't tell you. Because some people have made me become a debt collection agent. When you're doing the business and it's flowing, you're making profits, no one comes to me and says, oh, wow, Pastor, you've been teaching us. The teaching has been awesome. We just want to bless you. Pastor, can you send your account number? But the moment your business partner refuses to pay you, Pastor, I need to see you. It is very urgent. It's really, really, really urgent. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not even trying to make you laugh. Through the years, I've had all kinds of people, even people who are not members of this church, constantly looking for me to help them collect a debt of business I know nothing about. In the good days, they didn't know that that person had a good pastor and a good church. I said, Pastor, I'm only coming to see you because this is your church member. And this thing is not good for the church. But when you're paying, they did not remember me. I've sat with all kinds of people. Now I've also sent away all kinds of people. Yeah. I've sent away all kinds of people. Go and take care of your business. You can't be chasing me and giving me unnecessary work. The last time someone came like that recently, I said, I am not a debt collection agent. Don't look for how to get your money. So do business with sense. Write an agreement. Don't carry 1 million and just give to someone. I used to see him in church. Yeah, he looked nice. He looked this. He looked fine. And so I gave him 1 million. Write it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do business with someone in church. But let business be business. Again, I'm not saying because business is business, you should do it like the world. Is there a balance in what I'm saying? Yes. So I'm not saying do it like the world, but let business be business. Because I have been a pastor long enough to sort out issues amongst brethren. Issues that could have been avoided. Issues that could have been avoided. Especially when people are in relationship and they are doing business in partnership. Those are some of the worst business issues I have had to deal with. Yes, those are some of the worst. When you're not married yet, why do you have joint account? Please, excuse me, can you explain to me, why do you have joint account? Why? You are not married. Why do you have joint account? Then you start hearing, you see, he went and withdrew all the money. That was not what we agreed. Da. You're not married yet. Why do you have joint account? Why? It's lack of wisdom. You're not married yet. You have added money to buy deep freezer. He says deep freezer for the future when we get married. All those things. We sorted out issues like that with one brother and one sister. This is several years ago. They dragged us until, oh my God. We tried. She will come. She will tell her story. This one will come. This. She has carried the freezer. I'm the one who bought it. It was mostly my money. No, it was not mostly your money. It was equal. Yeah, but you carried the fan. I carried this, carried that. They ended up in police station. Yes, they did. And it's not the first time people were ending up in police station. Not the first time. Do business sensibly. Don't do business with your emotions. You're going to get into a business. It's not the business you're interested in. You're interested in the person. Now you're putting your money mindlessly. And when your eyes are clear, you know, Pastor, you have to help me collect this money. Did I send you? I didn't send you. Get a lawyer, write an agreement. Know exactly who is bringing what. Know exactly who is earning what. What's the capital base? What's the percentage in sharing of profit? Be specific. Next, to choose a business partner, do an assessment of character. Do an assessment of character. I'm done. Do an assessment of character. If you cannot ascertain someone's character, if this person does not have a track record of being of good character, do not do business with the person. And I don't care how much tongues the person speaks. Don't do business with the person. That's the truth. Because some people never return money when they borrow. Never. Never. You know why some people are angry in church? Because someone borrowed money from them. The person will not return. Now the person is pretending as if they don't even know that they are owing. And then when the person changes shoes, he starts paying you. Is it that you don't know you are owing? You want me to remind you? Shay? Okay. You are there buying shoes. You will not pay my money. Character. Character, very important. See, if you are owing anybody money, pay them. And if there's a cogent reason why you're not able to pay, explain, speak up. Don't ghost them. Don't act like you don't know. Because some people become proud. Is it because of that small money that I'm owing? I beg. Am I the first person to owe in West Africa? That is bad. If you're owing, pay. If you cannot pay as at when due, explain. Explain. If the deal was to pay in 2 installments and you don't have money for 2 installments, go back and renegotiate. Please, for this and that reason, I'm not able to pay in 2 installments as we initially agreed, but I have this. Can I just give you this? Or would you permit me to spread the payment? You may be unhappy that the money is coming in piecemeal, may not be useful to you, but if that at least helps you recover your money, it's still better than, no, I gave you this money when it was complete. When it is complete, pay me. 2 years have passed though. 2 years have passed and the money is also losing value. So you can adjust a little bit. But please, Keep your integrity. If you owe someone and you're not able to pay, explain. Don't ghost the person. Don't act like they don't exist. Tell them what's going on with you. If you've had some challenges, mention and plead for more time. So, number one, what did I say? Let's close. Number one, I said what? Under partnership, yes. Be willing to share profit. What's another thing I said? Make every business partnership formal. What else did I say? Ascertain. Do an assessment of character. What else did I say? Okay, so making it formal means getting a lawyer to draft an agreement. And I said, in as much as you're making it formal, it doesn't mean we're going to do it like the world, right? We're not going to do it like the world, but let it be formal. Let it be clear who's bringing what. Let it be clear what equity contributions are coming in. How much are we going to earn? And I also said to you, be flexible. You have the idea. Your idea needs 10 million. You don't even have 1 million. Someone is willing to bring 10 million. You want to share 50-50. Why? Why? You can't share 50-50. You've got to be real. Yes, while you should negotiate as much as possible, well, you can't share 50-50. If the profit is going to be big and someone is willing to give you 30%, when your equity contribution is only the idea, if 30% is something tangible, start. You need money. Save up that money, and in the course of time, you will have capital for your next idea. Don't sit down with one no, until that idea, someone else does it, and you lose out. So you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. Any questions? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be all for the afternoon. Get the microphone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I understand the aspect of leveraging ideas in a new field. I have the idea, you have the money, and this field we're about to play on is untapped. What happens in the situation where I have the idea, you have the money and the resources, you also have a business in this field, but I want to give you a new niche.
Okay.
How do I navigate that?
Okay, so it comes to negotiation. So I have the money, I'm in that business, or you have a new idea that can help me maybe expand in this business. Okay, so that's how you ascertain. That's why when you have an idea, it's good to measure it. Every idea has a measure. How do you measure your idea? From the research of how much market. For every idea, you should be able to establish how much market there is for this idea. This thing is good, but what is the market? When we say what is the market, to what extent is this thing on demand? To what extent can this thing solve problems? To what extent is this thing needed? And what will it cost? Why do you think someone can say, oh, the fashion industry in the United States is a $10 trillion industry? How are they able to tell us that that market is worth a particular amount? It's based on the research, based on the demand, and several other market indices. So you have to do a research, great research on your idea that enables you maximize the negotiation. So when you're talking, it's not just that, oh yeah, I mean with this too, you can make extra money, at least some extra money. No, you should be able to tell us, with this, you can make this much. Approximately this, that. This is worth this amount. You know, if someone looks at it from what it is worth, then you can negotiate what your portion should be as profit when it comes back to you. But if you cannot establish the worth of that idea in the market, then it becomes very difficult for you to negotiate. It would just be like, okay, just something that might add additional money. But is it just additional money? Can you say exactly what the worth of that idea will be, approximately based on your feasibility studies? So every idea needs feasibility studies. You have to do a research on your idea to know its worth, to know the magnitude of that idea in the market, and you should be able to put it in money terms. That's what enables your negotiation.
Thank you, sir. So what if in the case I give you all this you're asking for,
Yes.
and you still, we have not gotten to an agreement, but I've shown you the potential,
Yes.
but you go behind and do this without me?
Okay, beautiful. That's a very, very intelligent question. When you're giving ideas, you don't also give the trade secrets at the stage of negotiation. Do you understand? Know your idea so well that you own it. You own your idea by mastering the trade secrets. So you're not giving all the house and the this and that and that. No, you're giving us just sufficient detail enough to see the prospect, but not the workability in terms of the actual trade secrets to pull out the money. So you only get deeper when you are sure that, something has happened and maybe you've written an agreement and da. Even then, there's still a portion of it that you retain, so that at the time of separation, you still can do something for yourself without too much competition.
Thank you, sir.
Huh? Clap for me now. Why are you people doing like that? Okay. Number 2.
Good afternoon, Daddy. So I want to ask, you made a scenario of fashionistas coming together to get maybe a place where they can work and the old-fashioned arena thing. Mm-hmm. So, what if you have this fear of this person I'm coming in partnership with is better than I am? And then by the time we start having our own different customers, my clients might want to migrate to another person in that arena. In that kind of scenario, what do you do?
Princess, there are 2 things I'm going to tell you. In fashion, everybody has specialty. If you're a fashion designer that sews everything, in fact, I don't want to sew with you. Do you get it? You might have little ideas of many things, but the real fashion designers that make big money, they have a specialty. They have a specialty. Some people can sew something, but they'll tell you that they don't sew this commercially. They only do it privately. Am I making sense, someone here? You must know your niche and master it. So that even if there are 10 other people that do something similar, you just know that your customers can't leave you because you know how to deliver in that thing. And by the way, even if you're very, 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 very good, your customer can still want to make a dress from so and so and so person. But your business should not be that this customer is also making a dress from the other person. Your business should be that you are multiplying the clients and customers coming to you. So focus on expanding your reach. Not necessarily, you cannot restrain me from, for my native clothing, for native clothing that I have, the ones that I make. I used to have this guy in Abuja who has moved to the UK now. I have somebody else in Kaduna. Right? I have someone else in Kaduna. If you've seen my agbadas, like the suede, and all the suede tops that I have, they are from that person. And I have some clothing from that person. Some of my clothing I gift, so I don't know where they were made from. But, I have different people. I have just one guy, I think, in Calabar, so far, at least since I've been back in the country, that has made clothes for me in Calabar. Native clothing. One. So, but I go as far. Kaduna, here, there. And I have these people, they have their specialties. If I want to make agbada, I know who's going to make it. No matter how I like the guy in Calabar or the other guy somewhere, I know where I will make this, and I know where I will make that. So you can't really stop me. The guy in Abuja now, or the guy in Kaduna, cannot say because he makes clothes for me, I'm not going to want to make clothes from someone in Lagos or someone in Calabar. No, but I know certain things that he makes so well that if I want, he will be the one to make. So master your niche and multiply your clientele. You will not even notice when someone else wants to make something from somebody else, because what you do very well, when they need that thing, they will come back to you. Number 3. There were 2 people this way, or 3. Your hand wasn't up in the first place, was it? Or you were number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're done with him, there are those 2 or 3 people there.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so as a trained theater practitioner, and I have built strong creative skill sets in the field actually. In Nigeria, actually, the live theater, because now the world is advancing into films and all of that, but live theater doesn't get much financial support or attention. And I honestly do not see myself as a very naturally business-savvy person. How can someone like me, who has the creative expertise, leverage partnerships or attract people who can financially invest or support this vision?
Okay, so 2 things I'm going to say. Can you look for other people who are already excelling, who are established in that field, and work with them as a partner? Because now it's not just someone partnering with you. How about you partnering with somebody? You know? So you can look for people who are already established in what you're trying to do and partner with them. And probably the supply of your skill and your creativity can make it possible where you're not just employed, but you're a partner with them. So you're sharing profits. Maybe the jobs you handle or something, whatever the agreements are, you can earn a percentage of what you are involved with. So I would say look for people who are already established. Number 2 is, you talked about the skill that you have not being, you said something, not being...
I'm not naturally business savvy, like I don't know how.
No, you said something before being business
Okay.
savvy. Did you say your
Yeah,
skills
the
are
live
not...
theater,
Yes.
is not patronized that much in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, good. So, but now you're in Nigeria, right? And you have to not only survive, you have to thrive. I would say you should add some new skill sets to what you already have that enables you plug into sister industries or sister activities. When I mean sister activities, there are things related to what you do. There is no one field that stands in isolation. Fields are connected to themselves in one way or the other. So now that what you have is not so much in demand in Nigeria, you're not going to die, my friend, right? You have to be alive and you also have to thrive. So can you get some extra skill that enables you to leverage on some other fields or industries that are connected to your field or industry, you know, so that you don't just stay in isolation and do nothing.
Okay, so the second question actually interrelated with the first one. Now, my job currently is an 8 to 5 job, and I'm almost a year here in Calabar actually. I have been trying as much as possible to see if I can see some opportunities here in Calabar that are theater inclined or entertainment inclined and all of that.
Okay.
But it's like I rarely see such gigs and all of that here in Calabar, and most of the things I see are like outside Calabar. So how do I manage what I do currently and what I want to do?
Do you have relationships with people who organize theater events in Calabar?
Well, I haven't seen anybody yet.
You haven't looked for. That's your work.
Right,
That's your work. They are there. They are there. Let me ask you a question now. Honeystreams is getting ready for a big movie production. Are you a part of it?
I did hear you say it on your Facebook Live, and
Did
I
you
dropped
come
the
for
comment.
auditioning?
I dropped the comment the day you said I just started attending Honeystreams, so I think it was on a Tuesday.
Oh, this is very recent. This is very recent.
Yes,
there were
sir.
2 auditionings. Have you reached out? Have you?
I did drop a comment, but I didn't get a reply. So
No, whatever information you needed must have been on the flyer. Whatever I posted.
Oh, I didn't see the post actually. It was from your live video because I was watching your live video on Tuesday.
Okay, so but we've had posts, we've made announcements in church, we had people who were not members of Honeystreams showing up for the auditioning, 2 different auditionings. So you're not working hard enough to connect to the people in your field. So work hard.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Good afternoon, church. I have a business idea. I've done the necessary findings, market survey, and necessary consultations. And now I have a plan and a proposal. So how do I convince my potential investors, organizations, or an individual to invest in my business? That's number one. What if they invest and the business does not go as planned? So how do I mitigate or navigate such situations without having police looking for me?
I'm going
And
to...
finally,
What?
finally, sir, I know you are a businessman as well. If
Really?
I send you my proposal, will you look at it?
How do you know I'm a businessman?
I know you very well, sir.
What? And what business do I do? Tell me.
So I know that you are a businessman. One of the services that I attended, I think sometimes 2 years ago or so, you mentioned something about your own business and establishment.
What business do I do? So I'm asking you. That's my question. I don't have any shop anywhere. I don't do any.
And you are coming to Unica Radio on Tuesday.
Yes, I will be on Unica Radio on Tuesday. You guys need to tune in Tuesday, 10 o'clock. I'll be on Unica Radio. Yes.
And
so
the name of the show is Founders Connect. So I know there's no way you are coming.
you've said you know me very well. You say you know my business. I've just asked you what is my business. You've not answered me. I'm asking you so you don't confuse anybody.
But sir, if I send you my proposal, will you look at it?
I would charge you to do an assessment of your proposal.
Okay.
I will charge you to critique your proposal. Deal?
Yes. If only I can pay for it.
There you go.
I'm already looking for investors. So
Let's come to your first 2 questions and let's leave the third for now.
okay.
Well, he said I do business. Does anyone know the business I do? Come on, guys. You guys are my clients. Chief Protocol said speaking business. Someone said kingdom business. Tell me, please. That's very good business. That's very good business. But, well, maybe just to help and to clear, I'm a leadership development speaker. I don't sell cars or sell, I sell, well, services. I solve problems globally. Yes, I solve problems globally in institutions, organizations, and yes, I get paid, you know. So pretty much, I raise lions for a living. I train eagles for a living. Are there some lions in this place? So you see, this is my business. This is the business I do. Yeah, this is the business I do. I help people discover their potential. I help people release and maximize their purpose. I teach people how to develop wings, how to move from caterpillars to butterflies that soar. That's my business. That's my business. So if you ever heard me talk about my business, that is my business. And of course, I teach people wisdom who have established many different kinds of businesses, from oil and gas to whatever. We have lots of people. So your first question was how to convince. Is that not the reason for your proposal? A proposal has basic parts. It has an introduction. An introduction talks about who you are, what you represent, your company, and da. It can also include the experience your company has in dealing with stuff in line with that proposal. Number two, a proposal has a preamble. A preamble is like stating the statement of problem. It's like a statement of problem. Okay, so statement of problem, right? Let's imagine that I was writing a proposal to train the staff of Akwa Ibom State Government or Cross River State Government. I'll start by introducing the organization or the company who's running this training and talk about what we do and where we've done stuff and so on. Number two, if it's a capacity building training, I'm going to talk about something like in changing times with moving goalposts and It is important for leaders to stay updated with current principles that can help them engage global best practices that can bring about innovation and transformation in government, in this and that. You know, and then I'll go on to now say the course outline, what we are offering, maybe excellent leadership, how to build a culture of excellence, public speaking for leaders. We can talk about team building and team management. We can talk about transformational leadership, and I can list all of these courses that will make up my proposal. Then I'll go to the modus operandi. This seminar or this teaching, this whatever, will run for 2 days, 6 hours each or 4 hours each day. And then who to attend? I will say all top level government functionaries, all managerial level staff, you know, stuff like that. I'll list that. Then cost. This will be 100 million, but then I have to do a breakdown of the cost. Consulting, honorarium, logistics, accommodation, food, I give all the breakdowns. And then I come to faculty. The faculty include, number one, Dr. Akomaye Ugar, Doctor of Educational Psychology, International Leadership Development Speaker, and this, Maybe lead consultant, Honeystreams Academy of Leadership Arts, you know. Then number two, this, So I'm giving. Now, that is supposed to convince the people, one, from what I've stated, that they need what we want to do and that we have the capacity to deliver. So how you write your proposal is what is supposed to convince. If your proposal has to do with them getting money back or making money, you're going to describe what it is, what the market is. You heard me answer her question. What the size of market is and what the potential for making money out of it is. And of course, if you have a feasibility study, if it has to do with money, you'll be telling us that this has the capacity to generate such and such amount of money monthly or weekly or daily. That's based on your feasibility study. Okay, so how you write it and how you present your facts should convince the people. Number two, you said, what if it doesn't work? That's your risk to bear. And anybody who's investing, that's also their risk to bear. Business has to do with risk taking. And there's no teaching of business anywhere where they don't teach you that it's risk taking. And you see, if you're talking like that, my friend, you have not yet applied that business at an empirical level. Do not make people partner with a business where you have not tested your own money in. Because before you upscale, before you tell us to bring 5 million, bring 10 million and be part of it, let's know what your 200,000 has done. Let's know that in the last 1 year, you started with 200,000, now you have like 1.5 and you have mastered it. So all you need now is to grow it with money or equipment or something. So don't upscale when you have not tested the risk of the business at an empirical level. So if you're afraid it might not produce, there is a likelihood that you have not tested it yourself. What business feels like in your mind is different from what it feels like on the field. You can just sit and think, wow, if I have 15 million now, my God, every day I'll be making 1 million. It's easy to think like that until the realities hit you in the face. So don't invite people to contribute money to put in a business you have not tried with your own money. It will likely fail. Very likely fail. And if you have convinced them and given them too much hopes, and it fails too soon and unreasonably, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot because you close your doors for further prospects. And yeah, so. Was that all? I hope that is all. Because the next question now is, what shall we eat? Please ask your question.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. So for a venture you have an idea and the closest investor you find is the public sector. Maybe you decide to go into a PPP, a public-private partnership with either the state government or the federal government. So how do you make sure you don't get kicked out along the way? Because I've seen situations where, like, in Akomaye, where Mobil signed a contract with the state government to drill crude oil for like 100 years. So the former governor stepped in and told them he gave them a condition and they refused to bend to the condition and he had to kick them out. So in that kind of situation, how would you, I'm
trying to understand the beginning of your question. You said you have an idea, and this idea needs you to
partner with.
Okay, to do a PPP.
Yeah, to go into a PPP.
Public-private partnership. So, take for example, you and government.
Yes.
And how do you make sure you don't get kicked out?
Yeah.
You gave an example of Mobil and a certain government, and that maybe the contract was for 100 years. And then the governor comes and terminates it because they did not meet a condition. Come on, let us trash this. First of all, if you have agreements with the government, it should be written. It's not verbal.
It was a written contract.
Calm down. I'm unpacking your question and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. It should be written, right? So it was a written contract. Written contract with conditions and clauses. The government cannot terminate a contract if there aren't certain violations. You can't just give a contract and terminate it. No. In practice, that doesn't happen. So I don't know what new conditions the government would have been bringing into an existing contract. You don't have the details. I don't have the details. But we're just trying to simulate now. It would be that there was a window for something. If there is no window for something, for example, a contract can be signed for 100 years, but there are clauses that this contract will be reviewed after every 5 years. Do you agree? Yes. So there can be a clause that this contract will be reviewed every 5 years. It is possible that maybe in one of those review windows, the government tried to strike up a renegotiation on certain things, maybe sharing formula or whatever it was, and there wasn't an agreement. So on those grounds, the government terminated the contract. So you must know the clauses. That's why in the law of contract, one of the parts of law that I love the most, and I think that I read the most, was the law of contract. In the law of contract, you must understand clauses. Don't just be excited about what is written. The clauses. The clauses. And that's why when you get a contract, your lawyer must read it and interpret the clauses. It can sound good. A comma somewhere can change what you thought it was. Just a comma. A comma and is different from something and without a comma. Did you know that? Oh, yes. So your lawyer must interpret the contract, must read through the fine lines. If not, because in business you must know that many big players in business take advantage of legal loopholes. Yes. In law, there's what's called proprietary estoppel, for example. Let me close with that. In proprietary estoppel, right? Let's imagine, let me give a random, I borrow money from Alex and I take $150,000. $150,000. Anyone who can borrow $150,000 must be worth a lot more, right? So we have an agreement. In that agreement, I will pay him in the next 6 months and pay him in full, right? We sign it, he signs, our witnesses sign, it is sealed, maybe stamped in court, and that's binding between us. Now, maybe the contract had said that by the 3rd month, I will pay half, and then by the 2nd, 3rd month, I'll pay the rest. By the 3rd month, maybe I pay Alex half. Okay, then we get to the end of the contract where I'm supposed to pay the rest of the money, and I default. There's a breach of contract. Now, when there's a breach of contract, there are several ways out. One is litigation. It's not usually the first, really. You know, negotiation can come in. There are alternative disputes resolution options, right? So we can renegotiate or whatever. So I have breached the contract. Alex can sue me if he wants, but I choose to talk with him. I say, oh boy, see, that money I was expecting from the U.S. government has not shown up, you know. So, but what's left right now is $75,000. But see, I have this $20,000 now in my account, cash. I can send that to you. I know I was supposed to pay the other half, but I have this $20,000. Let me just see, oh boy, just hold this one first, you know. And he agrees because he really needs money right now. I send him $20,000. How much is left? $55,000. But check, we do not rewrite the contract. By right, what Alex should do is get his lawyer, rewrite the contract based on the balance. We rewrite the contract and say that the $55,000, maybe just have a fresh contract based on that amount. Probably he's giving me a 6 months window of grace or something. And to specify that it has to be paid between this time and that time. But he does not rewrite. We still have the old contract. He has taken $20,000. When does the breach? So 6 months pass. Alex like, give me my money now. What is all this? I have this. I want to do that. I want to do that. I'm buying a ship and there's this balance I need to pay. Alex, you're disturbing me now. What is it? Please stop disturbing me. Do your worst. And I tell him off. I call his bluff. Alex says, okay, no problem. He takes me to court. My lawyer, this is what my lawyer is going to do. My lawyer is going to tell the court that Alex, that yes, I owed him. Yes, the contract, for certain situations beyond my control, I wasn't able to pay him as at when due. But that when that happened, that I came and pleaded with Alex to take $20,000 as his final payment and to waive the rest. And that Alex agreed. Alex, his eyes will bulge. His lawyer will get up and they are getting ready to talk and, no, my lord, objection. Objection overruled. Keep talking. And so you say he paid Alex in good faith. As a matter of fact, we are very surprised how he can come to this holy court and try to talk down on my client. This man does not keep his word. He does not The thing would have turned though, we will blast you very well. And what the judge, in that case, no matter what your lawyer says, what the judge wants to C is evidence that you collected that money. They will ask you, Alex, did you receive $20,000 from this man as part of your money? Yes, my Lord, but 55,000 was left. No. Did you receive that money? Yes. Was it the full and final payment? No. How do I know it was not? Is there any document to show that it was not the full and final payment? You have forfeited on technical grounds your right to recover the money. Proprietary estoppel. Sad. That bad guy has hit you. He's taken your money. You will be angry. You will be bitter. But there's nothing you can do about it. I've helped somebody. There's nothing you can do about it. You have forfeited your right to your own thing. Just for not rewriting that contract. Accepting money after a breach and not rewriting the agreement to state the terms. You give him the right to lie and say whatever it was that may not even have existed. That's it. Your money is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we rise? So that's it about contracts. We don't know what the clauses were, and we don't know what the government used. If the clauses didn't support the termination, guess what Mobile will do? They'll go to court. They will sue. They'll sue. They can't just sell it to park and go like that. You know that kind of investment, equipment, time, stuff. No. They'll sue. You're talking of billions of dollars. They will sue. So you really need wisdom if you're going to, even if you don't study law, go and study. Everybody will have something to do with the law of contract at one time or another. I lost $7,000, Alex, many years ago. And should I tell you how I lost it? I'm saying this publicly for the first time. Pastor P. Jerry said, $7,000. This is many years ago. I don't even know if that was 20, maybe 14 or so, 13, 14. I mean, I need to check the dates, but about that time. Not, yes, it was our money, but it didn't, the loss didn't come from me personally. Let me explain what happened as we close. I was going to buy a car in the US. So we have somebody who had a relative who knew someone who sells cars. No, get it. One of my people had somebody in the States who had a friend that sells cars. So when we had talked about this car, that person said, I have a friend that sells cars. And this person, very reliable, responsible person, someone I know too, someone I know. So that person recommends her friend that sells cars. And so even though I used to go back and forth of the US, this person says she has a friend that sells cars. It was okay. So I was going to buy this Montero SUV, and it was really nice and so on. And that person used to go to auctions and so on. He was well known. He did that business for real. So we send this money. The 7,000, I think at one point maybe we sent like 5, and then he had us send a little part of it in Naira to somebody here. But anyways, everything was about $7,000. So he takes the money, according to him, goes to the auctions, he buys the car, he sends pictures, it was exactly what I wanted, and so on and so forth. But we don't see the car. the fiscal car. What's going on? 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 This person who was his friend starts following up with him because they were in the same city. Starts following up with him. He's not forthcoming. Car, we have not seen. She is not answering her. We just knew something had gone wrong somewhere, and he wasn't straightforward. Now in the US, going to court is a very simple thing. It's not as complete, we're going to court, like here. There, it's very straightforward and simple. So having tried to get his attention and to get him to at least produce the car long enough, and he did not, she, on her own, decided to take him to court because she felt her integrity was at stake. She was the one who took that money from us and gave to him to buy this car. She was the one who recommended him, so she took him to court. When she takes him to court, in summary, he claimed, number one, that he had shipped the car to Nigeria and presented the documents in court. Now, did he ship the car to me? No. But he presented the documents. They bought a car, asked me to ship it to Nigeria. I have shipped it. Number two question, the judge also wanted to find out if this guy was a registered automobile dealer. He was not a registered automobile dealer, even though he dealt in automobiles. He had a job. I think he worked for the US Navy or US Army or something on the side. Nigerian guy. Yeah, Nigerian guy. So his car business was on the side, right? So people dealt with him based on trust and relationship and so on. So my friend lost the case on those two grounds. Question number one was, why did you deal with someone who is not a registered car dealer? So it means that you were ready to face the risk. That was number one. Number two, which I believe is his lawyer that gave him that idea. They said, ship the car to Nigeria. I have shipped the car, and these are the documents. Why was that also a technical ground? It left the jurisdiction of the United States. Having shipped the car outside of America, they no longer had jurisdiction over the case. You see, technical loss. That's how $7,000 was lost. So take this thing seriously. Father, let your wisdom rest upon us. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.